For each of these presentations, we'll be highlighting one section of the Test Item Checklist, or TIC, the instrument we designed to help evaluate the effectiveness of multiple choice test items.
We'll do this by providing an example of a test item that fails to meet each one of the criteria on the Test Item Checklist. Each of these will be followed up by another example of a test item in which that problem has been addressed. Feel free to pause the video if you want to examine each individual example more closely, or you can download a complete TIC document that has all the examples.
In this video, we'll be looking at the evaluation criteria related to the STEM of a multiple choice test item.
The STEM is the part of the multiple choice test item that comes just in front of the options. Some people think of it as the question, but sometimes it's a statement.
This example fails at criterion S1, a focused STEM. A well-written STEM provides the test taker enough information to begin to formulate possible responses. This example fails to do so. There are lots of things that can be true about gravity.
This example elicits the same information as the flawed example, but it's more focused. The test taker will have a much better idea of what to look for in the options after reading this STEM.
This example fails at criterion S2, highest cognitive level. The example is flawed because it does not reach the highest cognitive level possible. The learning standard implies application, but this question merely asks the learner to recall a fact.
This example is improved because it's raised the cognitive level of the question. Now the test taker will have to apply their knowledge of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells in order to identify one.
This example fails at criterion S3, avoids negatives. The example is flawed because test takers might miss the word not in the STEM. They may be further confused by the presence of negatives in two of the other options.
This example was improved by removing the negative from the STEM and changing the options.
This example fails at criterion S4, avoids the use of you. The example is flawed because if you ask the test taker, what would you do, they could choose any of the options and still be correct.
This example was improved by removing the you from the STEM. Now the test taker will be looking for the best procedure rather than what he or she might choose to do.
This example fails at criterion S5, avoids personal names. Classroom teachers sometimes like to use the names of their students on their assessments, but this practice should be avoided on those tests which are designed for general and widespread use for the following reasons. First, difficult to recognize names may be a source of confusion for students. Second, if you start using names on your assessments, you'll have to be careful to avoid gender and cultural bias. And third, any name has the potential to bring on strong emotional content for test takers.
This example was improved and simplified by removing the personal name.
That's all for the STEM portion of our test item checklist. In our next video, we'll be looking at the evaluation criteria related to the options of a multiple choice test item.